Hey everybody, sorry for the mess. Lucas and Dee are moving into my place, so yeah, they already started dropping some stuff off here. So I got right here, I got Lucas's comics. So we're gonna start the bid. So just comment below what you guys are willing to pay. So first up, guys, we got Immortal Thor. Next up, we got DC Rebirth. So yeah, just pay what you guys want below. There's a lot of good books in here. But yeah, if you guys are interested in any of these, just shoot me a PayPal at Comics Gobbler 42069. And yeah, just let me know what you guys are interested in, and we'll get these off Lucas's hands. Hey everybody, welcome to the Cosmic Panel. Here, back at it again with the weekly polls for August 30th. That's right, August 30th. Pretty light week, not gonna lie, but that's because last week was huge. But yeah, still some fun stuff to read as always, of course.
If you guys would believe it, about a year ago, me and Elias started the the weekly polls specifically. So technically, this is the year-old episode. I just wanted to confirm that. Apparently, it was on the 24th. But I wanted to point that out.
Cool.
So my first pick is Moon Knight Annual #1. I haven't been reading any of the Contests of Chaos. I'm probably going to read them all in one fell swoop. But I just think this combo is so strange. This is basically just Batman versus Superman. And as much as I love Moon Knight, I don't see a situation where if Taguchi is taking this seriously, he's ever gonna win. So like, I don't know, man. This is a pretty strange matchup. I mean, most of these matchups have just been really out there, to be honest.
Really goofy shit, and especially when I saw the Iron Man Storm one, especially with everything that's going on with Fall of X, I was just like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, this is just stupid. Like, I'm all down for some weird, cool pairings, and I think they had that for a minute with, or maybe those are the ones that are coming up. I should probably look at the full lineup. But this one just, Iron Man Storm, I was like, that just pisses me off, because, like,
yeah,
that's just against the current plot of both of their books.
Yeah, and Spider-Gwen is having an annual, which doesn't make any sense because she doesn't have an ongoing.
Right. Just like weird things that people are going to pick up because they're like, oh, Spider-Gwen comic. And it just doesn't make any sense because it's not going to fit in with any timeline or anything like that. Venom vs. Deadpool, that's kind of fun. But Captain Marvel Cyclops, that's pretty random.
Wolverine Spider-Man at least has like precedent.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty goofy matchups all around, so I don't know. But hey, Jed is writing this, so let's see what he does.
Yeah, I'm sure that it will actually be good with Jed, because Jed writes Moon Knight really well, and he's really good at picking up guest characters and kind of doing his research before they get into it, so I'm excited.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm very curious to see what this will entail. My first pick for this week is going to be Wolverine number 36. This is part 3 of the Weapons of Vengeance storyline. It's been like a fun Ghost Rider Wolverine mystery. A lot of flashbacks to the past because it ties into this character who is seemingly still running rampant in the modern day. And of course, this cover is very intriguing. I'm hoping for some really cool explanation as to why they fuse or come together. But yeah, this has been a fun event so far.
Definitely agree. Also, I am curious about the chains that are seemingly coming out of his stomach. I wonder if that's going to be like part of, like, partially fused and he can control the chains. Also, I do wonder, how does... Now, this is a weird question, but I wonder, how does his healing factor affect basically the Hellfire burning all of his skin off? Because we see that the rest of his skin is completely fine, but just his face. So I'm wondering, like, is that because of the regeneration? Or, like, it's just so powerful that, like, even Hellfire just can't consistently, like, burn it? Or is this literally just, oh, no, it's just for aesthetic, just to look cool?
Yeah, I was going to say, this is going to be one of those interesting scenarios where we'll see if the cover actually matches the interior, like what's going on inside, or if it's just for,
Shits and giggles.
not shock value, but to attract attention. This is a very like bold, cool cover, but hopefully the interiors actually look that cool, or do that same thing.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to sell $1,000,000,000. I was trying to figure out how to make the joke, but it's kind of hard because it's already a fusion between two words. It's a fusion sandwich. Anyway, next up for me, I got The Plot Holes #1. This is by Whatnot Publishing, and it's Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy is probably one of my favorite recent Batman writers. He's been doing The White Knight, which has been really, really fun. But this is an indie book where he gets full creative control, and he is drawing and writing this, as he usually likes to do with most of his work. And this one actually has a pretty interesting summary. So I'm interested enough to just look into what it is. Apparently, this is about a squad of fictional warriors who transport themselves into pages of other books. And basically, they're all characters within their own novels, but when you become part of this organization, you realize that you're actually pulled from unpublished books that were never published and never saved. So, like, apparently one of the characters is going to be a manga samurai, a barbarian tiger, a kid from a comic strip, vampire assassin, and a comic creator who is realizing that his world is not actually real. So it's going to be very meta. I expect it to be, but I'm excited.
That sounds really cool, actually. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, they don't give any names, but I definitely feel like they give Cliff. Cliff is the main character's name, but I definitely feel like Cliff is definitely going to be a self-insert for Sean Murphy, and I think that's going to be pretty fun.
Word.
What's next for you?
Next up for me is Blade #2. Issue 1 was very strong, really killer art, and very interesting plot that is unfolding. Seemingly not everything is as it seems, and I was a little disappointed that there wasn't any Chernobyl mention. This sort of seems to not address that. Hopefully we will still get that at some point, because I'd hate that plot line to get swept under the rug.
No, exactly. The Chernobyl thing was one of the few genuine plot lines I really wanted to continue from Jason Aaron's run.
Yeah, definitely agree. But yeah, this is sort of like seeming like a prophecy that Blade has been caught in the middle of, and he's trying to fight his way out. The person he was helping turned out to not be his friend. So yeah, it's very interesting. Again, the art's fantastic, very fluid and great at conveying emotion, but also pretty scary when it needs to be. So
yeah, no, I actually really like the subversion of the person that Blade was saving was actually the bad person. Because I genuinely didn't expect it. I kind of thought we were falling into the average Blade story for a bit, but then it subverted itself, and I was like, oh, that's actually cool. But yeah, this was not what I was exactly thinking of when I thought of a Blade series. I was really hoping for the Chernobyl, but I mean, this is going to be an ongoing as far as we can see, so I'm excited to see where it goes.
That is true too.
I'm sure they could deal with it in the second arc.
Yeah, hopefully they do, because I just feel like the first cover was a little deceiving in that way, where it's just all these vampires, and to me it looked like, he was still in Chernobyl or something like that. But yeah, that is true. It doesn't seem to be an ongoing, so if it does well enough, we'll hopefully get an explanation. Maybe it's been a while since he's been in Chernobyl. Maybe takes place before, but either way, it's been a cool series so far.
Next up for me is World Tree #5. Last issue was basically all the explanation we had wanted. James Tynion really just kind of let people learn what was basically the entire point of the story. And we kind of know now, at least the basics of what the main characters know. Gabriel is the quote-unquote main character, I guess is the best way to put it. And he basically he's a CEO that when he was a child, he learned about this other side of the internet. Basically, if you dig down deep far enough, apparently you can hit the internet of another dimension, but it fucks people up. And him and his friends used to experiment with it, but then something happened, and his sister became basically twisted, and his sister is the person that's always walking around killing people, and always naked. But like the series is really cool. Like it starts out with like a kid just walking door to door and killing people, and you're like, what the fuck? And you realize like this is all due to the influence of seeing this program. You see this program, and basically all you want to do is just mass murder. So it's pretty fucked up. So I'm excited to see where this is gonna end. This is the end of the story arc. So as far as I see, this is probably gonna enter on hiatus for a bit. As James Tynion works on other stuff, hopefully Department of Truth.
Cool. Yeah, let's hope so. Next up for me is going to be Incredible Hulk number 3. You know, what do I have to say? I love Hulk. That's it. I love Hulk. That's it. No, issue 2 ended a little bit sooner than I wanted it to, but it ended in a really cool way because Hulk is actively hating and working against Bruce, as we will see again and again throughout the series. And basically, the congregation who is trying to raise a monster goes to sacrifice Bruce, and Bruce is begging Hulk. He's like, okay, you could come out now. And Hulk is like, no, they're going to kill you first.
It was
like,
such
wait, what? And then they just
fucking move.
Yeah, but it was so fucking sick though. I thought like he fucking gets killed and then he comes out. So that I thought that was really fucking brutal.
They're still keeping the brutal as fuck transformations though.
Yeah. So
which is
pretty
great.
fucking gnarly. The thing with musical issues, because this is a very musical issue with like their chants and prayers and stuff that they were singing throughout the issue, is I just wish there was like a definitive tune for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can kind of have an idea when you're reading it along in your head, but it's hard to quite pin down what the melody is, what the tune is. Obviously, it's just like a perversion of, a classic, like labor tune, I guess I would say is the best way to put it.
Yeah, that really is the best way to put it.
But yeah, very interesting issue, and of course, always excited to read more.
What are your thoughts so far on Charlie?
On Charlie, the girl that's following him around?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good addition, a great addition actually, that harkens back to classic Hulk stories, always having a human, by his side.
Rick Jones-esque.
Exactly. To kind of ground him and stuff like that is really interesting, and I think especially important in this era of Hulk. Brings it back to the basics, or to the classics, I guess, and just really shows how far gone he is, that he wants this person as far away from him as possible. He doesn't want to drag Charlie into this. He's volatile. He's unpredictable at this point. So, yeah, definitely a good twist on that Hulk classic.
I really like that Bruce and Charlie seem to connect on a level about being abused, having their fathers be the abusers, and it provides a unique perspective I don't think the other human companions have really brought, where it's like she actually has experienced what Bruce did, so it does make her connection with Bruce a little bit more nuanced. I feel like she's looking for a father figure, and he never really knew what a father figure is. So I think it's very unique, definitely to say.
That's very interesting, actually. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I don't think Bruce fully realizes that connection yet either. But yeah, you're right. Usually Bruce's partners are, much more innocent, more, more unlike Bruce. So yeah, that definitely creates an interesting dynamic between Charlie and Bruce in this case.
Yeah, the nightmare sequence was also really cool with both of them.
Yeah, that was crazy. But the art's stellar. Nick
Yeah,
Klein, I loved him on Thor, but I think he works
I think he
even
found
a
his
little
sweet
bit
spot.
better on horror stuff. Yeah,
I think him drawing really disgusting humans and monsters is just really lets him show the anatomy of the skills that he has, because he has really good anatomy skills.
big time, big time.
But yeah,
What's next up for you?
next up for me is The Devil's Cut #1. This is the first issue from Distillery, a new publisher that is basically going to be focusing on creator-owned comics. Basically, they're going to be focusing on the digital side of things and making sure that these creators are paid to the fullest extent. But the reason why I'm super excited for this is because it is a stacked fucking cast. Like James Tynion IV, Scott Snyder, Tula Lotay, Mirka Andolfo, Jock, Brian Azzarello, Ram V. Like this is such a good cast of writers and artists. Christian Ward. Like I could go on and on. There's over I think 20 names on this one issue. It's 88 pages, so it's a hefty $10 book. But we're going to be getting apparently short stories, and I'm really excited. I this to me I feel like has the potential to be what Image was when they originally came out, and seeing these new creators really take the helm is really exciting.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of this before, but it looks very interesting, very promising. Um, so is it only digital or is there physical
No, there's
as
going to be
well?
physical too. There's going to be
Okay.
physical too, but basically what they're saying, they're basically incentivizing people to buy physical because digital will only last for about a week, I believe,
Okay.
is what. And these issues are not going to be reprinted. Apparently, they're going to be printed once and that's it. They just will not
Interesting.
reprint these issues.
Yeah.
So once they're done,
No,
they're done.
I really dig the concept. This is the kind of shit that, I love to see creators coming together, helping each other out. In creative spaces, I think it's really important for people to realize that everyone's on the same team. We're not competing. This really isn't a competition. We all want to get our own stories out. We all want to get our own voices heard. So let's work with each other to make it happen. So, yeah, very interesting concept,
Yeah.
and high hopes for this. Next up for me is going to be Cult of Carnage Misery #4. This has been surprisingly strong. I guess you could say, yeah, it is my favorite symbiote-based story from the Summer of Symbiotes, because it's a new character. It's not Carnage again. It's not Venom again. This has been surprisingly interesting. The Misery symbiote that Liz Allen is the host of is a combination of a Carnage symbiote and an anti-Venom symbiote that have reached balance. And this has created a lot of interesting scenarios. Liz can get sliced in half and rejoin her body. So basically, her cells are just completely independent, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
when she wears a symbiote. So has a lot of interesting behaviors. And of course, this guy Madness has captured all the symbiotes now and has placed them on robots or cyborgs, I guess, that he's calling the Symbiotechs. So new life for the Life Foundation symbiotes, once again.
Symbiotes that haven't gotten attention in a long time, too.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I've really been enjoying this. It's been a very fun but strong symbiote lore heavy book.
Yeah, it's fun to see someone take a character that's been long established and hasn't really had anything since she formed Alchemex and really give her new status quo, give her a new situation. My only legitimate, I'm just waiting for the moment where it's going to happen where Red Goblin and her meet, because that is going to be a very confusing situation, especially with Norman in the mix.
Most definitely. And yeah, this series has been interesting because it's been like flashbacks and also, modern happenings. So they've shown stuff with Harry and stuff like that to kind of contextualize Liz's grief, which I think has been good. And also last issue, Spidey showed up to try and help out. So that was fun, but actually thought he was a helpful addition. It wasn't just kind of a silly cameo.
Man, it's almost like he's written better in every book that isn't his.
Yeah, exactly. So he's helping out Spearhead and everyone. And excited to crack open this next issue.
And then my final pick is Arcade Kings number 4. I really enjoyed last issue. This series has been really fun. First issue was probably the weakest out of all of them, but this issue has just progressively gotten better. It's a love letter to Street Fighter, to arcade games, to an 80s aesthetic, while also being almost very... I get surprisingly a ton of Akira vibes from this series. I don't know if it's the art or the way that the characters interact with each other, but yeah, the series is very fun. It's basically a brother trying to find his sibling, while also dealing with the fact that his father is a crazed megalomaniac who raised both of them basically since they were adopted to be the ultimate fighters, and they both have to basically suppress their urge to fight in favor of being genuinely nice people. But yeah, no, Dylan Burnett is killing it. He's the one of the artists on the series, and yeah, it's been phenomenal. Skybound Image, man, I swear they are giving really good like breaths of fresh air to a lot of creators, giving them the space to really work. And it's really nice. Last issue though was phenomenal, and I think genuinely, like, even if you didn't read the past issues, reading issue number 3, you're immediately invested in the story, because the third issue doesn't have the main character in the entire issue. It's legitimately just a short story about the brother, and then it ends and you're like, wow, now I'm invested in this character that they've kept on mentioning but I didn't really know, and now I care more about this character than the main character, which is pretty nuts.
Word. Yeah, I got some catching up to do. I got the first 3 issues that you lended to me, so yeah, I'll definitely catch up on this. Well, that brings us to my final pick, which is, of course, the Riddler Year 1, number 6. You know what this means. After I read this book, I get to watch The Batman again, one of the strongest superhero movies of all time. So yeah, this is gonna bring us to the final stage before the movie begins. Nashton has been plotting and planning and orchestrating things in preparation to bring attention to himself, make himself known by Batman. And yeah, this has just been a fantastic series. Lukas just read issue 5, and
that was intense.
Most definitely. They found yet another unique way to approach and make an artful tale of the Riddler. So really outstanding series, and excited to see it conclude. Definitely something that you could read multiple times. You'll appreciate the art again, and you'll appreciate the writing more, I'm sure. So maybe I'll go back in for a fell swoop, but definitely a series that I'm glad to have in physical. Just been beautiful.
Yeah, no, I mean, I recently watched the movie again recently with my friends, and basically, man, the quality is just really high in this universe. You can tell that Paul Dano really cares about this character. When he worked on the film, he really became that character, and the way he writes the character from that perspective is so unique. I genuinely don't think we've seen a character actor like that since Heath Ledger, I want to say, that really like embodies the role to that degree, but still keeping it unique to himself. Because I mean, let's be honest, the Riddler is a very, very old character at this point, and yet this has given him new life as like a Zodiac-esque killer, while also making him somewhat relatable to a horrifying degree. But yeah, last issue was a beautiful art piece too. It took me about, I want to say 20 minutes to just read it because I kept on stopping and just looking at the art. But phenomenal book. I'm really excited to read it. I might get even a hardcover of it. Honestly, it's that good.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting because I'm usually very anti making
Movie
characters dark, making comic book characters dark, I should say, for the movies. But somehow the Riddler's dark transformation was seamless, You think of him as a goofy character, but they really made him terrifying in the movie. So, yeah, really strong.
Terrifying yet realistic.
Here's my 5, and I will be picking up 6 tomorrow.
Should be fun.
And with that, this has been another Weekly Pulls video. Make sure you guys comment below what you guys are excited to read this week, of course. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, support your local comic shop, read comics, and PayPal me. Let me know what books you guys are looking for, and I'll make a pretty penny off Lucas's collection. Bye-bye.